Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in A Desert Dark Crusade Season 2. On this fine evening, set in the Odessan, towards the end of the Odessan winter, it is still moderately warm. There is a ball being held by the nobility, isolated from all of the troubles of the common man, the plague, the plundered goods, the faltering economy, the civil unrest, the religious burnings, and the riots. There is a collection of the aristocracy, of the numerous different houses, perhaps save Rhodopian and Sebesta, for they are not necessarily in the good graces of the regent, or simply aren't worthwhile enough to be noted. And under the bright candlelight of the chandelier and the pleasant plucking of many instrumental strings, that is where we set our scene, with a local Malkavian in attendance, here to see a fairly productive sounding venture.
Garnet stands, actually, arms folded very gently behind his back. He almost seems to be smiling and watching everyone dance and enjoy the music. But just scanning the crowd, assessing, watching everyone banter and flicker, watching the game being played, waiting for this very productive venture to arrive with just a calm smile on his face.
For the most part, it appears to be little more than a standard noble affair, in stark contrast to the very abnormal things happening within the city. It is perhaps a sparser event than most, perhaps because some of the nobility has fled the city. A few have inevitably died, and all of them are safe. And many who tend to the Prophet's Quarter. In fact, the house Al-Aziz, which an area that they're quite prominent within, many among their family and house are not present. They do have a few kind of token family members in attendance, if only to keep up appearances. But it's clear that the house's mind as a whole is not here at this event. And the regent is also in attendance, but is largely indisposed, and obviously, in accordance with noble etiquette, isn't to be approached by anyone unless they have an urgent matter to discuss, or if they're brought to him directly, or the more important rule is, if he likes you, you can go talk to him.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah,
Garnet at the table with kind of overlooks like the rest of the room.
Yeah, Garnet stays in the periphery, just watching, like a coiled viper, just watching everyone, smiling and being polite if anyone engages him, but studying, waiting to see that particular face making her way through the crowd. Just seems to be studying everything, but makes note of Al-Aziz's particular absence and just nods to himself as he just seems to wait, buying his time.
As time passes, you notice a few figures that you recognize. Obviously, you recognize the familiar face of Andrea Ardelean in the crowd. Seemingly present with some members from Houseless Doors. She dances with the rest of the aristocracy. Fairly, let's see, what's her performance stat? Ah, not bad. Okay. Professionally, probably one of the better dancers on display, to be honest. Like in terms of her elegance and grace. Um,
Hmm.
you notice a couple other figures. You notice the presence of Lady Katarina of Clan La Sombra there as well. And is there anyone else you'd recognize?
I think the one he's heard about wanting to meet him as well was Lady Astor. Ashtor.
Yeah, she's not actually present. It's
Makes sense anyway. It's considering what happened in the Prophet's Quarter.
And the fact that you heard that she disgraced herself at court. The regent of the Tremor is also present.
Hmm.
But like you, he hangs very much on the periphery. Seems like he is here with an ability as opposed to being a part of them. It's a bit hard to say. He definitely seems to be playing a kind of backseat role, as it were.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not putting himself front and center.
Garnet will then spot the two ladies, Katerina and the other one, and he will smile to himself and begin to wade into the crowd, smiling and chatting and engaging in a dance. His performance is mainly in harp, but he knows how to fake it like a noble. Really, it's not the most graceful of dancing, but it's etiquette. It's polite. Using his appearance more than anything, because appearance for does get you a lot in places in life.
Hmm. Oh no, you look dashing, and the aristocracy, if nothing else, appreciates fine breeding. Um, yeah, no, it's you have because you've done this whole routine before. You have a rudimentary knowledge of like how to step to and do the whole performance. Like you're just able to do it. You're not able to do it with a great degree of flamboyance or kind
Mm-hmm.
of stage stealing prowess. But you certainly don't embarrass yourself. Like most people here aren't professional dancers. They just know the basics of how to not step on their own shoes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Step on each other's shoes. Man, I messed up the sentence five times.
Eventually, Garnet will sort of dance his way to the lady, and will even do a perfect little bow, going, "Milady," right in front of her, bowing fully down as well, from his huge 6'5" height.
No, he's pretty big. Yeah. Andrea, by contrast, is actually fairly petite. So you're quite a bit. You're quite a lot taller than her. But she simply does a very elegant curtsy. Seems very pleased in this setting, and simply says, "My lord."
I was wondering, might I steal you for a dance? And he gives this dashing smile, like all the charisma.
Well, it would be my pleasure.
And he'll interlock himself with her, and she's obviously a better dancer than him, but he keeps up appearances and he smiles and he chats. So how have you been, darling? I have heard a few things, obviously concerns of the city, but I'm glad to see such a fair face is faring well in these times.
Splendidly. How about yourself?
Oh, well, the horses do keep me company, and, well, such things, well, you have to make changes, but I'm always adaptable.
As I see that you are, if you are here. Oh yeah, something we. Oh no, you have a doctor to do your herd for you, so
Yes.
everything's fine. Um, But yeah, she says, yeah, literally, yeah, as I just said.
And your clan, I assume they are, well, the family, I will say, the family. I assume they're doing well.
Any self-respecting one of our own would be. She seems to catch herself before she potentially breaches the sick fin before like 2,000 people.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is good to see that the family is maintaining its already high standards. The city needs it.
Undoubtedly, particularly with the danger of ill-advised maneuverings of some of the agent's confidence.
I've heard of sparse things, but I'm sure you could tell me more if you're interested in sharing with a fellow watcher of things.
She kind of dance around with her, like her eyes kind of shift off to the side in a not a nervous fashion, but more in a sly fashion.
Yeah, he'll probably actually do the same sly look and follow her gaze.
Oh, it's just off to the side. It's not to anything in particular.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like an expression of oh, interesting sort of thing.
Yeah, he'll give probably that sly smile as well.
It's a very deliberate notion of intent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is rarely ever good.
Yeah, he returns that kind of sly grin. Perhaps we could sit somewhere a bit more quieter and share in a few stories. It's always good to talk now and again.
I suppose she'll happily guide you over to a seat, and just kind of ushers away someone who offers you a glass of a goblet, not a glass, goblet of wine. She literally just like dismisses them with her hand, like doesn't even look at them.
Kind of lays back in the chair very casually and just smile at her. So, would you like to go first, milady, or shall we? Shall I?
Depends on what your opening trade is.
That is fair. I was looking for a friend here, someone who shares similar ambitions to myself. Someone who could, of course, with the right level of talking, could help me in making a stronger foundation in this city in terms of the aristocracy.
Okay. She's gonna make a check on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just set us up in dice roller. Do you have anything you need to roll like nightmares in dice roll, by the way?
No flaws like that.
Make it dice roll a 1, just in case Saskia is watching. I want her to suffer. She will make a check on you. Oh, 5 successes.
Wow, shit.
Okay. Would you like to describe to me your aura?
Garnet. Let me find the card. Garnet has this, I would say, without needing the card chart, because it'll take me an age if I can find it. Garnet reads. His primary emotion is, of course, that sort of giddy excitement, because, well, he loves this thing. It's the game. But the main is more. She can definitely feel the ambition in him. He has a plan, and he's looking for people to. She can definitely feel that pulsating off him. He is more scheming. What there is no maliciousness in that attempt. It just seems like he's almost planning, like a coiled snake, waiting to
Dark
see.
blue.
Yeah, dark blue. That would be the
Very
perfect color.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Very suspicious. Would you say there's any dark green and any light green or any well actually there's absolutely going to be deep red if I know Garnet at all, but
Yeah, yeah,
any,
exactly.
any light green, dark green at all?
um,
No rose, probably a bit of violet.
yeah, let me think. Dark green or light green?
Light green is distrustful, dark green is envious.
No, none of that actually.
Okay. Um, any bitterness, aggression, fear, or anger?
Surprisingly, no. He
Hmm.
seems quite relaxed in this environment. In fact, he seems the more he talks to her, the happier he seems. He seems, and of course, she's obviously stunning looking as well, so he appreciates that.
Yeah,
So there's
bright glow of vermilion. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's about as beautiful as you are.
Yeah, so he appreciates the beauty and the sculpture. So no, there's no envy towards him at all. In fact, he seems to quite, like, yeah, I like who I'm talking to.
She, yeah, you literally see her stare at you for like 2 seconds as you kind of talk and stuff.
And if I am correct about the gossips about you, my lady, I believe you and I could be the best of friends. And I'm going to do the same on her since we're playing that game. Um,
To be
I will.
fair, Garnet wouldn't necessarily be aware she's doing that because
Oh no, no. Like I mean,
it's
OOC. Like
yeah,
he probably.
aura
Yeah,
perception is entirely internal,
yeah, yeah. He's going to
um,
aura perception her
so
as
she
well
can't detect
because
you doing it either.
yeah, yeah. So he's
Are you
he's going to give it
looking? Oh, I
give it a
should
go.
mention something real quick. Are you just trying to do it on her or on multiple people?
Just on her. I'm only focused on her at the minute.
Just on her. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I will use the Auspex one to reduce the difficulty as well. I think I can do that. 6
Yeah,
rather than
reduces
8.
the difficulty by your Auspex level.
Oh, my Auspex level is 4.
Oh yeah, so it's reduced diff by 4, so it's basically a diff 4 roll.
Okay, there we go.
Uh,
That's one,
oh, a
two,
bit unfortunate, but
3. Only it's 3. 3
3
successes.
successes is still good. That gives you all the information you really need, so you can recognize the color patterns. So you see, heavy shades of lavender, um, and light blue, hints of light green, and her aura is pale, obviously.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's what you see. You see her primary aura seems to be composed of lavender and light blue, which is calm and conservative. Um, there is a hint of distrust.
Of course, yeah, that makes total sense. And he'll just smile at her.
I suppose that is entirely dependent on what you can do for each other. Now, I have the ears of many, both inside and outside of this room. But what about yourself? You are a recent addition to the court.
Mm. That is true. Recently arrived. However, I am making my mark slowly upon certain areas. Taking the time, the careful preparation, of course. I think most of all, one of a lady such as you, from such noble standing, would appreciate the delicacies of gentle preparation, the right preparation. He gives another very dazzling smile. But in terms of the aristocracy, I am merely but a minnow looking to expand into the deeper pool.
She considers you for a moment. And what of outside this ballroom?
Hmm. Outside this ballroom, well, I am just a mere horseman, watching and waiting, letting everything gather slowly, and it all comes back to me in the end, one way or another. You give a very, yeah, you know that smile. It's that wicked little devil smile, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Full of
Hmm.
confidence.
Andrea, for her part, maintains a very neutral expression. It's like the sort of polite, small, very slight smile that doesn't really give away any real emotion other than contentment. You know, the sort of the expression itself is something of a pleasantry.
And my little horses do hear things that might intrigue a lady of your position in terms of what to do with them, and how to react, of course.
What might you mean? Perhaps I've heard of your horse trader after all. Well, you
Depends on the
do.
depends on the horse, my lady. For I breed my horses myself and I sell them, but Garnet's eyes wander to many different circles, and he's heard and seen many things.
She looks away from you for a moment. Uh, Off to the side again, considering. Again, trying to hide any real emotional state she has, but for the same pleasant smile. Where do you wish to entrench yourself?
I look to expand. However, from what I am noticing, the water is quite full in terms of as I expected, many other of our kind like to establish roots in this aristocracy. But I intend to bring something of a personal touch, and with the right support and the right alliances, a powerful alliance between yourself and myself could contest with things. I plan to make the clan of mirrors. And he'll say whispered very slowly as he leans into her, almost like he's about to tell her like a really funny joke. I plan to make the clan of mirrors a bit more expansive, and I am making sure that the clan of kings is perfectly aware and perfectly willing to align.
Her head tilts up a little bit, and she looks downwards as much as she can for someone who is much taller than her. She kind of steeples her hands. You must understand from what I've heard so far, this seems like a one sided arrangement.
Mm, of course, it's asking a lot to invest in something. It's understandable. So, what would you like in return, my lady? That is the question. What would you want of my help and my information that I can provide to you and only to you. I can even give you a name of someone that you'll lean right in and might have potential ties into what happens into the Prophet's Quarter. For the right price, of course.
Hmm. Oh man, she has an extremely high dice pool for this.
No shit.
Oh. Flipendo. That is an actual spell from Harry Potter, by the way.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I was like, oh,
Oh wow, she gets 7 successes. Everything is fine.
fuck. Fuck.
Um
Everything's fine.
she looks completely, that's literally a max dice pool. Hey, look at the social character. Um yeah, she seems completely at ease. Everything is fine here. Nothing is wrong. Um unless you can match 7 successes because you
No,
can roll
that is my
against it.
that is literally the that I would not be able to match that. I can't get above it. I can only
Because
get
she
equal to it.
Yeah, because she doesn't have a specialty, so it doesn't put her at 8.
No,
Um
I cannot match that, unfortunately.
okay. She looks completely, literally the Stepford smile mastered to its absolute extreme. Um
Hmm.
I suppose that depends on who did what where and what the consequences of such knowledge would be.
If I was to say that, he'll tap his fingers on the table, kind of strumming them lightly. Someone using consider this. Why would somebody use one of the gangs of the underworld as a front to push his own clan's interests? Disguised perfectly, as if you would never see it. Because everyone's looking in one direction, they don't notice the thing that slips under the cracks, do they?
What are you suggesting?
I'm saying if you look hard enough, you'll find. He'll smile and whisper right into her ear, very gently. You'll find a salubri hand wandering around inside.
5 successes. You can potentially beat that.
I will
She's
give
rolling
it a.
extremely well.
She's going really fucking well. I will give my best shot at trying to beat that. I
Uh,
don't.
everything is fine. Um, again, she just kind of tilts her head, like for you to whisper into her ear. She doesn't seem as interested as you would expect from one of one of the Salubri's enemies, considering they're on opposite sides of a Cold War. Um, it definitely gets her thinking.
He'll lean back and stare at her, twisting his head. Perhaps you already know this, my lady.
Perhaps the concerns of the Cappadocians are largely their own.
Hmm, true. But, well, if you did know it, then you'd know their name. But what concerns the Cappadocians could definitely aid both of us in terms of, well, who they look to. And wouldn't it be so fitting if before the good lady Astor, you are the one who knew it first? Even before, lean right in, even before the Losambre themselves.
She does seriously consider on that front. She doesn't really hide that. She steeples her fingers and thinks to herself for a moment. I want insurance.
Of what kind? Because I have in my possession, under my rope, someone who can verify. Does that sound like insurance for you?
The Salubri engaging in conflicts outside of their jurisdiction is not what I'm looking for insurance for. It is something I would desire in addition to mutual cooperation with yourself, not the not the information. As
Hmm.
I'm sure you can provide, you seem very confident that I would perhaps be best served in the service of another. But what I am looking for is is a guarantee that my investment in you would be returned. That would require a boon of some degree, given the services I could provide.
Hmm. And what type of boon are you thinking?
Hmm. She considers how to. She She filters through her words, I think is clear to see for a moment.
Hmm.
Like she takes a moment to word this next statement very carefully. For every shall we say, for every barrier hence removed would be a single major.
Hmm.
She kind of, one of her hands kind of looks at her nails and runs one of her nails along her thumbnail.
And wouldn't the barrier depend? The boon depend on the barrier. Some barriers may require just a gentle stroke, and other may require a firm hand.
But would you be here if you could remove them yourself?
That is a fair point. Actually, well, yeah, that was a very good point. Shit. Whew. Smile at that, actually.
Kind of grabbed by the holes there.
Yeah, kind of like, whoo. Whew, that was a good one, darling.
Cold blood sweat.
Yeah, Garnet just blinks for a second, like, oh shit, you got me. That is true, and an excellent point. Very well. We have an accord then.
There is one other stipulation closer to a warning, I suppose. The family of Lestos and Munfor would be
Untouched.
untouched. The rest you can do with as you will.
And what if I wish to bring in my own to the city? I will be meeting with my Primogen to discuss bringing a noble family from a different city in to spice up the noble pool.
Very fascinating. That would require many different points of correspondence that I could provide for.
Not.
Of course, that would be the first service that I'm providing, and hence.
And I trust this shall be kept, of course, under the table in terms of what we're paying each other. The hand of ever knowing our business now, can we?
Boons are often recorded and accounted for by someone within the city, but the services exchanged, perhaps, can most assuredly remain between us.
A smile and nod. Excellent. Would you like his name, or would you prefer to wait until I... And which underworld gang he's using?
By all means.
Lean in. Quill. And he has believed to be ties to the Brotherhood of Paul.
The Brothers of Paul.
Brother Sir Paul, sorry. Brother
Close
Sir
enough.
Paul. Yeah, nearly there.
I see. Very interesting.
It's a clever ruse. While not only expanding their network, he's also pushing the clan's influence to. And he'll smile, make sure enough chaos is spread so everyone blames the wrong person. You lean back in the chair quite confidently and smile. Might I invite you to my stables if you are able to ride, my lady?
As much as it would please thee, darling, I do have business to attend to here, I'm afraid.
Of course. Whenever you feel appropriate to visit, I will make sure I have the perfect horse picked out for you, my darling. After all, such a fine lady should not be not accompanied by such a fine beast to reflect her grandiose.
Perhaps it shall be my taste tester.
Wonderful, darling. And may I? And he'll reach over and kiss her hand. Very, very gentlemanly, very
Oh, yeah,
polite.
yeah. It's perfectly in line.
He'll stand up. I shall wait for your arrival then to taste what your investment seems like. He'll give her, again, that appearance for a smile. It's so devilish.
Dashing.
Mm.
Smashing. Wait.
Smashing.
And yeah, she will very politely kind of stand and curtsy for you, and then I shall be seeing you shortly. Then.
Wonderful. And he'll just nod and bow and make his way through the crowd, probably enjoy the nobles dancing and throwing a bit more, and then make his way home.
And yes, the ball continues, but the business between two Canaanites has been concluded. I think that would be an apt point for us to end our scene. I would like to thank the player for playing, darling.
Darling.
And for darling watchers for watching, and we shall see all of you next time.